Dear students, in the last video we discussed about basic grade level transformations. So in this video I would like to discuss about piecewise linear transformations. So basically the grade level transformations which we discussed in the last class, they are applied on the whole image. But however, sometimes we require to highlight or enhance particular part of the image. So in such case, we can make use of piecewise linear transformations. So as the name itself indicates, these piecewise linear transformations, they are not applied on the entire image. Instead of that, they are applied only part of the image or only particular range of pixels. Hence, they are referred to as piecewise linear transformations. So here in the syllabus, we have three different piecewise linear transformations. We are going to discuss about the contrast stretching, grey level slicing, and bitplane slicing. So there are the three piecewise linear transformations given in the textbook. We'll discuss this one by one. So first one, we have contrast stretching. So actually contrast stretching, it is used to increase the dynamic range of the image. So basically the low contrast images, they can be improved by means of contrast stretching. The low contrast images will be due to poor illumination or maybe due to lack of dynamic range by the sensors or sometimes wrong setting of the lens. These are some of the reasons which will cause low contrast image. So these low contrast images, they can be enhanced by means of contrast stretching. So mainly we can say that the contrast stretching, it is used to increase the dynamic range of gray level in the image. So here for contrast stretching, we can make use of any of the curve. We can make use of any of the curve. Here we have shown one of the typical transformation. Okay, just if you refer the diagram, here we have R values. As we discussed, R indicates the gray level values in the input image, and S indicates the gray level values in the output image. Okay, here we have on the x-axis the intensity levels as 0 to L minus 1, and again on the y-axis the intensity values for the output image we have 0 to L minus 1. Here we have a typical contrast stretching curve. Uh, we have marked as some points R1 S1 and R2 S2. This entire curve or entire graph indicates the transformation curve. Okay, let us see what will happen for different values of R1 S1 and R2 S2. Okay, here we have three different possibilities to say. So first of all, if R1 is equal to S1 and R2 is equal to S2, can you think what will happen? So actually, if R1 is equal to S1, R2 is equal to S2, we are going to get simply the curve like this. Here I am showing the graph by means of cursor. If you observe this, it is nothing but the identity transformation, which does not produce any change in the output image. Then we have the second possibility, that is if R1 is equal to R2, S1 is equal to 0 and S2 equal to L minus 1. Dear students, what we are doing is, we are using R1 equal to R2, we are making S1 equal to 0, S1 is made 0 and S2 is set to L minus 1. By doing so, we are going to get the graph like this. We are going to get a middle line here and up to L minus 1 on the y-axis. Okay, so actually this transformation, it becomes a thresholding function and it will produce a binary image. Can you think how do we get binary image from this curve? Uh, Students, it is like this. Here, what happens is in an image, all the all the intensities whose value is between 0 to this midpoint, they are mapped to 0, and all the pixels whose value is above this midpoint and up to L minus 1, they are assigned with value 1. So actually this curve indicates that the gray level values, whatever we have in the image, they are assigned with values 0 and 1. That is, the intensity values between 0 to this midpoint, they are assigned with value 0, and from this midpoint to L minus 1, they are assigned with value 1. So this will produce the thresholding function. The result of this thresholding function is a binary image. And in case if R1 and R2, R1S1, R2S2, if they are intermediate values, they produce various degree of gray levels in the output image, and they are going to affect the contrast of the image. In generally, what we do is we select R1 as less than or equal to R2 and S1 as less than or equal to S2 to obtain the contrast stretching of the image. Remember students, the contrast stretching it is mainly used to increase dynamic range of the image. That is, we can convert low contrast image into high contrast images by performing the contrast stretching operation. And for contrast stretching, we can use many of the functions. Here we have shown one of the typical function. Okay, in this function, the output of the image is going to depend on the points R1, S1 and R2, S2. Here we have discussed the different values or possibilities of R1, S1 and R2, S2. So if R1 equal to S1 and R2 equal to S2, so that the transformation function becomes simply a linear transformation and it does not produce any change. And if R1 is equal to R2, S1 equal to 0 and S2 equal to L minus 1, it will produce a thresholding function whose output is a binary image. And for intermediate values of R1, S1 and R2S2, we are going to get various degree of spread in the gray levels of output image. In generally, you remember the values of R1 and S1, they are chosen less than or equal to R2 and less than or equal to S2 respectively. Then here we have some examples of contrast stretching. Okay, if you observe the first image, so actually this is the low contrast image we have. This is the first image which I am showing here. This is the low contrast image we have, and by performing uh, contrast stretching on the image, we are going to get this particular part of the image. You can observe that the contrast of this image is increased. Okay, and we have this particular image. So actually this is due to the thresholding function. When R1 is equal to S1, S1 equal to 0 and S2 equal to L minus 1, that time as we discussed we get the thresholding function, and that thresholding function will produce this binary image. Binary image means the pixels will have only value 0 and 1. They does not have any other intermediate values. The next we have gray level slicing, which is also called as intensity slicing. So this is the second piecewise linear transformation. So actually it is used to highlight the specific range of intensities in an image. To highlight the specific range of intensity of the pixels of the image, we are going to make use of this particular transformation called gray level slicing or intensity slicing. Okay, here we can apply two methods as shown in the figure A and B. So if you observe this figure A and B, in the first method, you can observe that we are going to boost the desired range of gray levels and suppress all other gray levels of the image. Here what happens is the pixels whose value lies between A and B, their value is boosted up, and other values, that is the gray level values between 0 to A and B to L minus 1, they are suppressed. This is one of the method we can use for gray level slicing. And here what happens is only the pixels whose value is between A and B, whose range is between A and B, they are turned into white, and other pixels they will become black. Okay, we have the second method which is shown in the figure B. In this case, we are going to brighten only desired range of gray level values without changing other gray level values. Okay, if you observe the diagram uh, between A and B, the pixels whose gray level values is between A and B, they are boosted up, they are brightened, right? But however, the pixels whose value is between 0 to A and B to L minus 1, they are kept as it is. Okay, so this particular kind of application, we call it as gray level slicing. Dear students, remember the gray level slicing mainly it is used to highlight specific range of intensities of an image. There are two methods. We can use two methods. One is we can boost desired range of gray level values and suppress all other gray level values of the image. This is the first method. And in the second method, what we can do is we can brighten only desired range of gray level values, and other gray level values or other pixels, they are going to remain same, means they are not going to change in the output image. Okay, then we have third piecewise linear transformation, which is called as bitplane slicing. Dear students, in generally we know that the image can be represented by using certain number of bits. Suppose if you have an 8-bit image, the meaning is that to represent each pixel of the image, we are going to use 8-bit values, right? So particularly the bitplane slicing, this method is used to estimate the contribution made by each bit of the pixel in an image. Try to understand. So mainly it is used to estimate the contribution made by each bit of the pixel in an image. Okay, now in the example, in the diagram, we have shown uh, bitplane slicing for 8-bit image. Okay, an 8-bit image can be viewed as 8 different planes as bitplane 0 to bitplane 7. So bitplane 0, it is made up of only LSB bit of all the pixels of the image. Similarly, bitplane 1 will contain the second bit of all pixels of the image. Like that, the bitplane 7, it will consist of only MSB of all the pixels of the image. Okay, so you can think what is the application of bitplane slicing. As we discussed, once we are able to obtain this bitplane slicing, we'll be able to estimate the contribution made by each of the bits. That is, we'll be able to identify the significance of particular bits of the image. So here we have one of the example. So if you observe this example, okay, here we have an 8-bit image. This is 8-bit image we have, and next we have shown bitplane 0, means this image is formed by considering only LSB bits of all the pixels of the 8-bit image. And similarly, the second diagram is formed by considering first bit of all the pixels of the input image, like that, like that. This particular image, which I have shown, it is formed by considering only the MSB bits of all the pixels of the image. So now, if you observe this diagram, you can easily understand that the bits 6 and 7, that is MSB bit and last bit 1 bit, they are going to make or they are going to contribute significant in the formation of the image. The idea is that instead of using all the 8 bits, suppose if you use only the last 2 bits, that is uh, bit number 6 and bit number 7, you are going to save 6 number of bits for each of the pixel. So it leads to again the compression of the image. Okay, here we have an example. Here if you observe this example, this image, it is formed by considering bit 6, 7 and 8. The middle image, it is formed by considering bit number 6, 7, 8. And if you consider first image, right? First image, it is obtained by considering only bit number 7 and 8. However, this particular image, that is last one, it is obtained by considering bit 8, 7, 6, 5. So the advantage is that you will be able to estimate which of the which of the bits of the pixel they contribute much towards formation of the image, and you can